It's the year I turned 40, and like many divorced guys in their 30s, I had a little meltdown thinking that my life is over.
My life is over. My life is over.
But instead, I looked in the mirror and remember I grew up in the 90s, the greatest decade of all time. We didn't care about political correctness, we told our friends to suck it, and we saw the invention of angry boy music. We also reached peak motivation. So my friend, whether you are over 40 or just want to reclaim your manhood, I'm going to teach you the secret to getting shredded and having a bigger wiener. Wieners sold separately. So let's begin. There are 5 major areas that you need to master to get shredded. I'm going to share with you my exact training and nutrition strategies that have helped me shift kilos and get in the best shape of my life. Let's start with the first and most obvious one, diet and nutrition. To get shredded or dick skin lean, it's not enough to eliminate junk from your diet or simply control calories. You need both. Optimize your food choices and control calories. This is how I did it. Because I wanted to get shredded in 10 weeks, I went aggressive and followed a 1600 calorie plan. My breakfast was 1 piece of toast, 220 grams of mince. Mid-morning, I had a protein shake with all the supplements known to man. Stay tuned to the end where I tell you exactly what supplements I took. And if that wasn't enough, I had 150 grams of berries and 1 yogurt. For lunch, I had 220 grams of chicken breast or thigh because only lean meat is for dweebs, and with 250 grams of vegetables. I had 20 grams of dark chocolate pre-training, and for dinner and post-workout, I had another 200 grams of chicken breast and another 250 grams of vegetables because pooping is good, y'all. And for dessert, the saddest part of my whole diet was I had a protein shake with ice. Yes, ice. I would sometimes imagine I was eating a sad version of ice cream. Okay, so let's do the sad shake. Let's put the ice back in. These are the ice cubes that I want Tyrone to shove up his ass. Hope he's watching this. See how sad I am having my ice shake. But hey, look, if you are dieting, this is one of the things that I like to have to help me diet. So this is the ice shake. To curb my cravings, I included Pepsi Max because Pepsi is better than Coke, but also found organic tea particularly helpful. Not because I enjoy tea, but because this tea said it's for men, and I'm a man. Marketing. Sleep and recovery. After a full day of eating and training, it's time for the next step, recovery. Think of your body as a battery and sleep the recharge station. And yes, it is actually that important to getting lean. Not because it just has a profound impact on your physiological health, but also because it has a profound impact on your psychological health. Look, life is hard and dieting can be very challenging. You need your mental wits about you. Ever notice how irritated and poor decisions you can make when you haven't slept well? Well, I'm also telling you, the whole diet process will be about 95% easier if you sleep well. No one did anything dumb by going to bed early, like eating a whole tub of ice cream. I measure my sleep using an Oura ring. And look, there's many devices out on the market like Whoop. I'm not endorsed by any of them. Choose the one that's right for you. The point here is that I like to measure my sleep and have objective markers so I can improve. Now, sometimes I don't like my Oura Ring data, particularly the data that says my sleep score is 67, because sometimes we can use those scores and interpret it as a reason for us not to work out the next day or pussy out of something. So instead, I use 2 markers above everything else and all the data that I collect based on my sleep. And those 2 markers are my average resting heart rate and how much I slept. Your heart rate is a window to how well your nervous system is recovered. And your nervous system basically governs everything, including erections. So it's pretty damn important. So if you want to improve your sleep power, your willpower, and even your erection power, consider my simple sleep rules. 1. No caffeine or stimulants after 1:37 p.m. Caffeine has a half-life, which also means it has a quarter life. So if you have caffeine at say 2 p.m., expect it to be in your system when you're trying to get to sleep. 2. Sleep in a pitch black room. For your brain to get the signal to make as much melatonin as possible, there needs to be pitch black. So light can disrupt melatonin production, hence we want our rooms to be like caves. So if you put your hand in front of your face, if you can see it in your bedroom is not dark enough. 3. Make your room cold. An air conditioner is your friend. The reason why this is point 3 is because a warm room or being high in temperature at night can disrupt sleep and disrupt you getting into that deep sleep and REM sleep. Additionally, by being a little bit cold at night, you're going to help the fat burning process. 4, your bed can only be used for 2 things starting with S: Sleeping or sex. You cannot work or watch TV. You do not want to anchor into your bed or bedroom the thought of work. This should be a place of relaxation and rest. 5. If you have a racy mind, remember that a short pencil is a lot better than a long memory. So if you do have a lot of thoughts on your mind before bed, brain dump. Keep a notepad next to your bed. There is no point going to bed with 100 things on your mind. Dump it, put it to the side, and then you've earned yourself a good night rest and you can get up early in the morning and work on it the next day. Look, sleep is important towards your health and fitness goals. Make sure you get enough, track it, be objective. Folks, you've got this. Now let's move to the next point. Most of my training prior to this shred phase was done at a functional strength rep range, which means I worked between 6 to 8 reps. And for my shred phase, we mostly continued to work the 6 to 8 rep range for my A series and main exercises, but for my supplementary, it went from anywhere from 10 to 25 reps. And it was really centered around the pump. Now, what I will say is that during the shred phase, I did stay away from traditional powerlifting style of training. And the reason for that is I didn't want to induce central nervous system fatigue. Obviously, when you're dieting and dieting aggressively the way I've been, your joints feel sore, you don't recover as well. And generally, you want to stay away from movements that have a high level of skill. So you want to use dumbed down movements. So for example, instead of using, say, a front squat, I would use split-legged squats because they're very simple movements, isolated movements that I can take safely to fatigue. And I want to take all the movements to fatigue that have a low skill because obviously the higher the skill, the more chance and risk of injury. I own a personal training studio and I have a team of 14 expert coaches. And I had one of my coaches help me out and put my training together. The reason why I did that is because I didn't want to think. And this is one of the things that I would say is the difference that makes a difference regardless of goal is having someone outside of you tell you what to do where you can kind of switch off. Now, the important thing with that is that you have someone that you trust and you have a plan that you trust. So folks, if you do need a hand with coaching, make sure you subscribe to this channel and reach out to us here at Enterprise Fitness, and I'll have an online program for you very soon. Now, back to our regular program. What I did on Mondays is I trained chest, back, and shoulders. My main exercises were incline bench press, chin-ups, or variations of. So for example, I did use a lot of lat pull down, a lot of seated row, and a lot of dumbbell pressing. For my shoulders, I also used a lot of lateral raises and all variations of lateral raises. And on Mondays, being Monday, I always left with an arm pump. On Tuesdays, I trained legs. Now, I have some issues with my knees that have been ongoing and persistent, so a lot of my leg training has been centered around single leg movements, such as the split squat, leg extension, leg curls, and RDLs. And of course, being leg day, you've got to train your calves, and I absolutely love training calves. And I would use standing and seated calf raises. Wednesdays, I made sure I did my steps. Every day, my minimum step goal was 10,000, but on Wednesdays, I tend to push it up to around 15. Thursdays, I hit chest, back, and shoulders again, with the focus being more shoulders, whereas Monday was more chest. Shoulders was the focus, and again, using overhead movements and lots of lateral raises and all the variations, as well as lots of back work. I love training back and hit chin-ups on Thursdays. Fridays, more legs, again centered around more of my quads, whereas the Tuesday was centered more around the posterior chain. And Saturdays is all about the pump. So Saturdays was my arm day, a nice way to finish the week. Exercises that I included: Zottman curls, incline curls, reverse curls, push downs, close grip press, and many other variations. Really, the focus was to get a good pump on and leave and finish the week on a high. All right, so let's talk about supplements on this rapid shred plan. I love the Jocko Go. It is an amazing formulation that they've put together. It's only 95 milligrams of caffeine. It's kind of like a formula that helps you focus, but also feel good without giving you the jitters. Vitamin C. When you're dieting, your immune system can be compromised. So vitamin C is a water-soluble vitamin. The reason why I take it as part of this plan is to really keep my immune system in check. The active muscle collagen, what I personally find on low calories is that my recovery does suffer. The active body collagen certainly helps. I put it again in my protein shake. Paleo fiber. One of the things that I've absolutely found game-changing is specifically the guar gum extract, which just helps me keep me ticking. This one for me is the easiest to remember to take because all I do is I put it in my protein shake and I take it. Magnesium threonate. Now I love magnesium threonate for multiple reasons. Your magnesium threonate is going to be absorbed and utilized by the nervous system. It's going to calm you down. So again, this is one I take in my training, trimagnesium Restful Night formula by Designs for Health. It's got 3 different types of magnesiums in it. They're all absorbed a little bit differently. The reason why they do that as a formula is to aid and assist a higher amount of magnesium being absorbed. IgG Shield. It is basically colostrum, but the way they've extracted it is from Bavarian blood, helping repair the gut. And again, the stronger your immune system is, the more you have the ability to rebuild muscle. Sustanchi. It is a powerful testosterone booster. Testosterone, sex drive, it's a marker of vitality. You want to feel vital because that gives you drive for life. You want to feel good. These products, you want to cycle in and out. You don't want to be on them all the time, but I definitely rate Sustanchi as a powerful testosterone booster. Avail, which is your coenzyme 10, this one really is going to help with metabolic health. It helps with energy production. It's kind of like one of those ones that does a lot of things, but mainly we're looking at mitochondria health and energy, which again is super, super important on a dieting phase. Glycine. Glycine is an amino acid. It's super cheap. It helps with connectivity health, and it also helps with detoxification pathways. Calcium deglucanate. It's actually deglucuronic acid, which helps with xenoestrogen detoxification. Now, the reason why I take it is because if I'm taking a testosterone booster, then I can produce more estrogens. I want to make sure these estrogens are clearing out of my system. B Supreme. It's got all the active forms of B vitamins. It's a full spectrum B vitamin. The way you'll know if you need it is look at your labs, but it's not just getting blood done from a doctor, it's who interprets those labs. So I take B vitamins all year round because I need to, based on my blood work. Electrolytes, this is the KTS solutions. So I supplement with electrolytes. Your electrolytes are sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride. The way Mark Schaus, my friend, shout out to Mark Schaus, the way he formulated it was in direct proportion to what's actually found in the body. Whey protein. It's more like a food, like it's a way for me to get in my recommended protein intake. I include that because right now my calories are super low. It's 1600. I'm gonna have to get as much protein in as I can while keeping my calories low and also make it flavorsome as well. So there you have it, guys. This is my supplements routine for my aggressive cut following a 1600 calorie plan. I don't recommend you do this, so what I'm doing, I'm showing you what I'm doing to give you some insight in terms of how I do it. And again, always with all of this stuff, speak to a qualified professional who can give you and point you in the right direction.
This leaves us with the most important element, our habits and our mindset. Now, really, this is the thing that strings everything together. Habits that I want you to implement. I want you to implement a routine around what time you wake up, a routine around what time you go to bed, and a schedule in terms of when you eat. Here's the thing, people think they can get up and just make random decisions throughout the day. It's not the case. The less options that you have and the more decisions, the predetermined decisions that you make starting your day, the more likely you are to succeed. In fact, studies have showed those with more options are more unhappy. And I apply this directly to getting shredded and sticking to a goal and hitting that goal. A lot of the time, life is not about what we say yes to. It's about what we say no to, putting constraints on things and locking us into the goal. And that is what you're going to need in terms of getting thick skin lean and getting super shredded. So set what time you're going to wake up. Set times for your breakfast, your lunch, your meal times. Set times where you're going to go to bed. And don't waver. Of course, you might have half an hour here or there, but the biggest thing is creating pattern interrupts. Things they're going to remind you once you build those habits to do it every single day. So what I do is I put them in my Google Calendar. I set alarms on my phones. I set pattern interrupts in my day to ensure that these things become habits. Once I adopt them, then I can let go of the alarm. They still stay in my schedule. The next habit that I want you to adopt is to eat in the 5 major food groups. What are the 5 major food groups? It's foods that are hunted, fished, gathered, plucked, and farmed. And by the way, the only reason why I include farmed is because obviously cows aren't hunting. Now, these 5 food groups eliminate choice. They eliminate refined carbohydrates and refined food products. And most of these foods, if you're eating these 5 food groups, you're gonna have to prepare these foods. There's vegetables, there's fruits, there's meat. These are the foods that are gonna optimize our body. Think of it like this. If you were to buy an Apple phone and put a Samsung battery in the Apple phone, it's not going to work as well because it's not the factory designed battery for that phone. We want to eat factory designed fuel for our bodies, and this is what these 5 food groups allow. And finally, the last point is to adapt a winning mindset. And to adapt a winning mindset, we need to have many ways that we can win and to leverage ourselves into the best results possible. Now, what do I mean by this? If we just simply have one vector of winning is, let's say, body fat percentage or winning is weight on the scales, it's going to be very limited. Either our weight goes down and we feel like we're winning, or our weight doesn't move, or our weight goes up and we feel like we're losing. Now, the thing is with weight loss and getting super shredded is our weight isn't going to be a vector line down. It is going to be a little bit all over the place. Some days it might be up 500 grams, down, depending on the time of day. So we want to set up multiple ways that we can win and observe ourselves. So for me personally, ways that I can win include, is my body fat percentage going down? Is my weight on the scales going down? Do my clothes fit me better? Do my kids see the process and journey that I am on? Am I sticking to the plan 100%? Or am I including other things in other foods? Am I getting positive comments, positive reinforcement from people around me? Am I getting more compliments? Do I feel confident taking photos shirtless? Regardless of whether I place first, second, or third, or last on stage, I have so many ways that I can win in this. Even making this video is a huge win for me. So in any goal, set up multiple ways you can win, because success breeds success, and positive reinforcement is a very helpful tool along the way. Yes, it's true. You can have a little bit of negativity here and there to fuel you, and some people respond really well to negativity. However, for the most part, the daily inspiration comes from stacking small wins over time and feeling like you're winning. So I really suggest that you figure out multiple ways you can win at your goal. Now, if you need more help with getting shredded, reach out to me and my team. You can visit buildingsuperhuman.com or Enterprise Fitness, or just Google my name, Mark Latobry. But even if that's all too much, you can simply hit the subscribe button down below. We have so much great new content coming out completely free. All you need to do is hit subscribe. Till next time, friends, train hard, eat well, and supplement smart.